Today I want to talk about change. Now, this is a really interesting concept because so often I hear people say things like, well, this person needs to change in order for me to be happy in this relationship, or that needs to change there in order for me to feel fulfilled. But the thing is, when it comes to you, you don't want to change because you think you're afraid of change. Well, I'm here today to tell you that you're not afraid of change. You're not afraid of the word change, but because we've made this decision that change is scary, change is hard, we don't do changes. We stay in our comfort zone because it's so much easier and everything's kind of lukewarm and nice. In change world, we believe that, it's going to be this big scary mountain. The thing is, what you're afraid of is not being good enough. You're afraid of maybe failing. You're afraid of not being the person that can step up to the challenge. I'm going to give you 3 tips today, or 3 tips on how you can really become friends with change so that you can change an area of your life. Number 1, you got to be honest with yourself. What are you tolerating right now? We think, oh, I'd love to change this area, but it's okay. I'm okay. I'm not 10 out of 10, but I'm kind of 6. It's not bad. And then we think that we're okay till we're about 2 out of 10. Then we get into panic mode and we have to change because now we've got pain. But then all of the stuff that's happened when you've gotten down to a 2 out of a 10, you've said things that you don't mean, you've had, rage against people, you feel guilty, this and that, before you finally make the change. Why would you want to go there? Why not just learn to become best friends with the word change? So number 1, find out, what is it that I'm tolerating right now? Like really, if you're honest with yourself, what is it that I'm tolerating? And in this area that I'm tolerating this thing, how do I really feel on a scale 1 to 10? Like really, if I'm being really honest, you gotta be honest with yourself. Because if you're not honest with yourself, you're just gonna keep going. And then you find yourself being slightly depressed. And then you go, why am I feeling so Why am I feeling that life's kind of Because you've been tolerating so much bullshit. But the idea of changing is so scary because you don't even know who you are if you would change that area. So number 1, be honest. What are you tolerating? And number 2, if you're tolerating this and you're not really happy like this, what do you really want? So many times we want to change because we've got pain somewhere, but we don't know what we want to change towards. So if you don't know what you want, but you know what you don't want, how the hell are you going to change? I mean, seriously, of course you're scared. It's like jumping off a building, but you don't even know if it's going to be 1 meter, 10 meter, where am I going to land? So to make change an easier process for you, figure out what you really want, but not just figure out what you want. Get excited about it. Get hungry about it. Be like, oh my God, whoa, this is what I really want. And by the way, as you know, cut out all of those fears that come up. Oh, I'm not good enough. Maybe I failed, blah, blah, blah. Because if you're going to be steered by all of that, you might as well just stay on a 4 out of 10 and just stay there. But then don't complain. Don't complain that life isn't great if you're not willing to do the work to change your life. So number 2, find out what you really want. And number 3, what is the fear that comes up? So what you want to do is, when you know what you don't want and you know what you're tolerating, you're really honest with yourself, then you figure out what you really want. What's going to happen then is your saboteur is going to come in and go, well, that you want, you're never going to get there. You're not good enough. You were not born into a privileged family. You don't have the money. You don't have the looks. You don't have the body. You don't have the personality. You are introvert. You are this and that. Because we have so many labels of what we think we are, the identity that we think that we are. So what I want you to do in that situation is, it's really hard if you truly believe that you're an introvert, but whatever you're wanting to change asks of you to step outside of your comfort zone, to then all of a sudden pretend or practice being, oh, I'm such an extrovert. Because maybe that's too much of a jump. So find out where your fears are. And what I want you to do with the fears is, either you can go to the opposite and practice that. So for example, I'm an introvert, but I'm excited about being an extrovert. So I'm just going to practice that. And you go to the opposite and you practice and practice and practice. But if you feel that it's too much of a jump, what you do then is what I call neutralizing the fear. So I'm an introvert. It's okay. I want to start this magnificent business up. I want to make lots of money. I'm an introvert. It's gonna ask of me to be an extrovert, but it's okay. Right now I'm an introvert and I'm gonna make that okay. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna step into doing the work for whatever it is that I need to do in order for me to get what I want. I'm gonna do it anyway, even though I don't find myself being an extrovert. Because what happens then? You start to notice, hold on a minute, I talk to people, I do this. Maybe I'm not so much of an introvert. So you're actually training yourself by taking action steps every day, and eventually you start becoming that person that runs that business. That's the thing. Remember this. You can't ask other people to change their identity or the way that they show up in their life if you're not willing to look at what are you tolerating and what bullshit are you sitting in right now complaining about, but actually not taking action to change because you think you're afraid of change, which is complete crap. You're just afraid of fear. But if you neutralize the fear and you start taking action and you say to yourself, I'm going to do it anyway, I'm telling you something. The life that you visioned when you're not in your fear place, the life of your dreams, will start to come one step closer.